Oh, yeah. How y'all all welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with you. It is the best day of the work week. It is Monday. And appreciate everybody joining us today. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. All the Dirty Bird haters are really happy. I saw one guy. Yeah, I saw a sign. I don't know if it was a cartoon. It was in New Orleans Times-Picayune, the Advocate, Brandon. You'd love it. They were holding up a sign. It said, "Who Dat Nation?" You know, Saints fan. And it says, Tom Brady deflate this. And it had the Falcon logo.
Yes. I love it.
And I thought, wow, well, he deflated them last night, no doubt about it. And that was an incredible game. Yeah, Brandon, I went back and forth with Brandon very little last night, which Brandon going, man, I did have a peaceful night. But listen, at 28-3.
Here we go.
Here, 28-3. Now, Brandon, let me get this straight, because Brandon thought I said the whole thing was rigged. It started reminding me. I told you.
I asked you if it was.
I know, but I was kind of trying to go to sleep, Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon, and I said, yeah, it's rigged. I said, this is WWE all over again. Now, I didn't really mean it as rigged. I'm sitting there not caring who wins. I'm just watching Super Bowl. Actually, Brandon, y'all were talking about the commercials. You know, I really didn't see any. Every commercial break, I got up and I didn't have to go to the bathroom.
Everyone, huh?
My buddy Jade brought some crawfish over there, so we was getting up, and Tanya was eating. I was helping do that. I'd walk out. I had TV outside and inside, so I was back and forth. And really, when the commercials came on, because I wanted to watch the game, I was doing stuff at the commercial break. Halftime, I didn't see anything. I don't know if Gaga, Gigi, or Gigi, or whatever her name did, good or bad.
Gaga!
Yeah, whatever. I didn't know. But 28-3. And this is, I'm telling you, my wife was getting mad at me because my wife has.
Can you blame her?
No, the McClures. There was the McClure that played at
Todd
Atlanta.
McClure?
Todd McClure played at Atlanta for 14 years, played at LSU. Mm-hmm. That's the central area. She's real good friends with all those folks, okay? And she was really pulling hard for Atlanta because of the McClures, and they knew them and all that kind of stuff.
Understandable.
And so I'm sitting there, and so, Brandon, it wasn't predictions. I'm thinking out loud, okay? By the way, that's dangerous. I do in here every now and then. Brandon go, would you quit talking to yourself? So sometime on this program, I just think out loud. That's dangerous, by the way. So it's 28-3, and I go, watch what's going to happen now. The greatest comeback in the history of the Super Bowl. Tom Brady wins his fifth. By the way, I think Tom Brady is as good or better than anybody's ever played the game. He's really good. So I don't have anything against the Patriots, against Atlanta. I'm not in all that. I'm really just watching the game. So I said, mark my word. I know it. And I said, watch this. I said, don't be surprised. Tom Brady comes all the way back and wins the Super Bowl. It's the greatest win ever. It's the fifth thing. It's a big dramatic deal. And so then it gets to be 28-9. They missed the extra point. And so now it's 28-9. And so Walker, and by the way, my wife and my son can vouch for this. Walker's pulling hard for the Patriots. Okay. So they're going back, and here I am sitting there kind of running my mouth thinking out loud, Brandon. So I said, it's 28-9. And I go, the Falcons better score another touchdown. I'm just telling you, if they score 35, it's over. But now did revise that to 31 because they just needed a field goal as the game went on. So I'm just talking out loud. So the Patriots get a field goal, and now it's a two-possession game. It's 28-12. So here's when I started getting in trouble with my bride. You ready? I go, two-possession game. I said, watch this. All right, Brandon, two-possession game. This is when I started getting in trouble with my wife. I go, watch this. Turnover's coming. Watch. I'm just telling you, it's like WWE wrestling. And I didn't mean that as rigged. Brandon sent me a little deal rig. I went, yes. And I said, not really. That's not what I meant. But I did say that to you. And by the way, you also got on your email. You ready? Mm-hmm. You also got on your email, I'm going to bed at the overtime. So when you look at your text and you say, yeah, Moon, you said it was rigged. I really didn't mean rigged, but it just seems like it was playing out like that. So, all right, what happens on the next possession? Turnover. And then I said, well, if they score, they've got to score two more two-point conversions. So I said, so Atlanta has their chances now. Mm-hmm. So they score and get a two-point conversion. Now it's a one-possession game. And Tiny's getting mad at me and said, oh, this is going to the end. Brady going to score at the end, tie the ball game. Don't say it. I said, well, all he needs is a field goal. So they get within field goal range. And all they have to do is run the football. They go back, and it's a holding penalty.
Uh-huh.
By the way, it was
and a sack before
By the way,
that.
then it go back and it's a big sack. Now you're out of field goal range, and I'm laughing. So Tanya's getting madder at me. I said, I'm just telling you, it's WWE wrestling. I didn't mean rigged. That's not what I was trying to say, but it reminded me of WWE. Is it WWE or WEE, whatever the heck it is.
WWE.
So they out of field goal range, and Walker's loving this, and he's going, he's dogging his mama. I'm in between this dude, and I'm kind of laughing. I'm egging it on now, Brandon.
Oh, yeah,
I'm having fun with this now. So they out of field goal range. They punt it. Tom Brady gets it with 3-something with 2 timeouts left. And I go, tie ball game, overtime, Patriots win. I'm going to bed. So they got mad at me again. So them two are going after each other. You better listen to Daddy. So they go down, score the touchdown, get the 2-point convert. About that time, I'm talking to Brandon a little bit, and I go, that's on the rig thing, and I go, Brandon, it's going to overtime, and I'm going to bed. And you can ask my family. As soon as they scored the 2-point conversion, good night. And Walker goes, Dad, it's overtime. I said, Patriots will win. It's just all done. And so I'm sitting here laughing, Brandon, because I'm not making predictions, so I can't tell you I predicted it. That's not what I predicted. I'm just talking out loud. And, of course, I'm egging them two on. And I'm sitting here going, this stuff is like I'm speaking it and it's happening. And it was so funny. I wish I had film in my house last night. By the way, I went by and checked my good buddy Jade, who brought a few crawfish to us, Andrus, and his gang over there. And I went over there at halftime. They're over there crying. I think they're all Patriots fans. They're over there about I went over there so there wouldn't be no suicides. I mean, these guys are going crazy. So
the crawfish had nothing to do with it.
No. Well, actually, Brandon, as I told you, I didn't watch no commercials because, like, at halftime, I was cleaning he had brought an ice chest, and I cleaned all that up and brought it back over there. But anyway, so when all this took place, I can't help it. I went to bed. Brandon texted me. I said, good night. I'm going to bed. Yeah. And I went to bed. And then Brandon texted me again. He woke me up. And then here comes Walker all pumped up.
Wait, when did I wake you up?
You sent me another text. Then you sent me. Somebody sent me one late last night.
Oh, I said you're killing me.
It was right there. Dude, you got to understand, when I lay my head on a pillow, I got about a minute and a half for you to communicate with me. I'm gone.
It was beyond the minute and a half.
So anyway, Brandon, I look back now, it's comical. It wasn't predictions. I didn't predict any of this. I said, well, when you watch this is WWE. And I did that at 28-3. I said, you watch. Because I knew Brady and them would eventually were going to score. And by the way, they had the ball over 2-1. I mean, they had the ball most of the time. And you're not going to
weren't finishing the drives off.
I know, but you're not going to – but, you think about this. Go back to the Seattle Super Bowl winner 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Belichick and Brady never panic. The team never panic. They just are who they are. Seattle throws the ball at the goal line when they should have handed them to Lynch. They win the game. What happened with the Dirty Birds? They hand the ball off 3 times and let the guy kick the field goal. If you miss it, Brady's going to drive anyway. But if you make it, you're the Super Bowl champs. What are we doing dropping back passing? Now, I'm not a football coach. I'm not second-guessing. I'm saying it's eerie similar that we got to run the football to win the Super Bowl, but we don't run the football. Mm-hmm. And to me, but what do? That means Atlanta and Seattle, they kind of panic. Belichick, he throws a few F-bombs on the sideline, and he folds his arm and watches the game and talks to the guy in the headset, and he's never panicked, and Tom Brady never panics. And that means their whole team never panics. Why? Because they're the leaders. Mm-hmm. And how about the catch off the leg?
Oh, that was amazing.
But it took a play like that to win it, just like the Giants did. It took everything to fall their way. But the reason it does, Brandon, because they're the best. They're champions. They never think they're going to lose. Yeah. That stuff doesn't happen by accident. They're the best, and they win because they are the best. That guy catches that ball because his concentration level is a lot higher than everybody else, and he never because they don't know how to lose.
That being the
winning is a habit. It's a habit in everything you do. Those guys are going to win the ball game if you step on the field with them and you screw up, and that's what they do. You normally make the dumb decision.
That being the case, though, we'd be talking about Julio Jones's catch if Atlanta had won.
Incredible.
That was amazing on the sideline.
Well, it ought to be talked about because that's one of the best ever. But see, in all fairness to Ryan, they got in position to do what I'm telling you. Just that one more field goal. I said a touchdown, and by that time you're going, okay, it's getting close. A field goal's going to win it. So, I mean, there wasn't a prediction. I just said you just need a field goal. You need something. You need to score somewhere, and they never did. And Tom Brady's the champ, and they're the best, and it doesn't matter what anybody says. They're the best. They had a chance to lose the last 2 Super Bowls, but they actually won it because Belichick and them never, ever panic because they know how to win. I mean, they really know how to win. But anyway, I just thought a little humor at my house. If I'd have had film of that, it'd be worth putting on Facebook. Of course, if I would have bet on everything I just told you and was coming out of my mouth, everything would have happened opposite.
It would
All I have to do is and I don't bet. That's one of the reasons I don't gamble, is that I know I'm going to lose. When I put that dollar, 50 cents, 10 cents, it's going to hell in a handbasket.
And that would have been a tough Monday to accept, the Atlanta Falcons being the Super Bowl champions.
I heard Jackie this morning on the program. She was dogging people that liked the Saints but were pulling for Atlanta.
My dad, man. Oh, he was pulling for Atlanta.
But you got to get off my friend. Your dad is my friend.
Man.
Don't talk about my friend. Don't talk about my friend.
All
right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Lot to cover today. We'll be right. Hi, hello. Welcome. Moon Griffon Show. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. If I was a betting man, and I'm not, and you knew I was a betting man, you would want to know every prediction I ever made with football and basketball and all that stuff. And if I put money down, all you have to do is go against me. You're guaranteed to win. I'm telling you, you're guaranteed to win when it comes to that stuff. Brandon, I got to go back 35 years before I probably made a bet. I'm talking about a bet with a financial bet. Maybe. I don't believe in it. I've changed a lot in my life, but I'm just telling you, it's not something you want to get into, but some people do it. But I just, if I put money on any prediction I ever made, you can bet it's going to be the opposite. You just got to call me. I'm better than Jimmy the Greek was. You just do the opposite of what I do. All right, let's get a call or two in here. I got a lot to cover, including the man-made global warming fake hoax. They busted them down again with the lies of this man-made global big business. We'll get to that in a second. Jason in Shreveport. How you doing, Jason?
Good morning, Moon. I just want to give you a liberal update from Colorado.
All right.
On Facebook, the Coloradoans are saying that the petition has been started to have the game ball air pressure check and the overtime game ball pressure check.
Oh, my God.
Saying that white privilege afforded them the ability to win in overtime. The referees are all slanted towards Trump. They're trying to get a federal judge to put a stay in on the game and have the score reversed back to the third quarter, saying that they won more minutes than the Patriots did during the game, so they should get a participation trophy and announce co-winner. That's basically Colorado right now.
So you think that's it, huh?
That's about what they're saying right now. They're really asking to see if they can get a federal judge to reverse the score and check air pressure on it.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
That he won
I'll
4
tell you what.
times already. He doesn't deserve a fifth to win. Neither does the coach.
Yeah, I tell you what, I didn't watch it. I saw it actually this morning because my little boy came down with Goodell, gave the trophy to Kraft, and they booed him like a yard dog. I mean, they booed him big time. I just laughed. All that stuff to me is, it is what it is. I don't follow it. I like I used to, so it doesn't matter to me anymore.
The left figured the fix was in that the Falcons were going to win because the game was going to be rigged like WWE. In fact, it's not rigged. It's not. They thought for sure they had it bought off when they had Gaga.
Yeah, you're right.
They asked Hillary Clinton, "How do you lose a lead like that so quickly?" She just threw up her hands and said, "I don't know how you lose it that quickly, but polls were that Atlanta was going to win."
Yeah, I got you, brother. I got you, brother. Thanks for the call. Appreciate the call. That's funny. It is what it is. All right, folks, I hope y'all saw the breaking news. NOAA scandal gives Trump the perfect excuse to drain the climate swamp. There are stories breaking left and right on this. Whistleblower NOAA scientists manipulated temperature data to make global warming seem worse. It's breaking everywhere. This is a lie. This has been a lie. Here's another one. 1,000 scientists challenge global warming in new report. 1,000 of them. I'm telling you, they could break this down. We could save a lot of money and a lot of headaches if we drain the swamp on this. So NOAA deliberately fiddled the climate data to hide the pause in global warming. Okay. Donald Trump, here we go, Donald Trump. I'm telling you, you can rip this crap out of our society of man-made global warming. But his efforts are being resisted at every turn by those lying scientists, bent politicians, rent-sinking businessmen, and Soros-funded activist groups who insist, what swamp, what crocodiles, what leeches, nothing here. The whistleblower John Bates has just done to prove beyond reasonable doubt that some of us have long claimed that the world's leading temperature data sets have been hijacked by climate activists and abused to advance a political agenda. And that's exactly what's happening. And you got to read these stories, folks. How the climate alarmists eliminated the inconvenience pause in global warming. The paper seemed to have been produced by two alarmists and Tom Call and Thomas Peterson with the express purpose of confounding skeptics in the run-up to the Paris Accord that they signed. Once again, they lied. You can catch it out on Drudge. It's such a lie. These people that have called me and emailed me have been made of fools again. And I ain't mentioned their names yet, that have sent me emails talking about how we're wrong or got on my Facebook. And you can read this whole thing about the manipulation of these people and these scientists to tell us that man-made global warming is real and it's getting worse. None of that's true. All lies. Every bit of it. Okay? And these people and these scientists are coming out. World leaders, there's a story today, world leaders upset over this. They have spent a lot of time and a lot of money. A lot of time and a lot of money. And yet, none of it's true. None of it. So, it's, I don't know. I just got a kick out of watching this go on and on again. And the lies are there. Anyway, more information when we get back. Man-made global warming. And Donald Trump, he's right on immigration. He's right on the executive order. How come the courts and the politicians want to go against him? I mean, folks, he is right on protecting our country. Why would somebody want to stop protecting our country? We'll be right back. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. More on Donald Trump, the President Trump, and, of course, what he's trying to do to protect the country. Our mindset is so much political leftist movement in this country, even through Republicans, and that's why, hey, he's got a battle. He needs a lot of prayer and a lot of fight because there will be Republicans that will stab him on the way as well. All right, I want to finish up with the man-made global warming stuff. How world leaders were duped in investing billions over manipulated global warming data, and how these countries are kind of upset about what's going on now, folks. It's amazing. This has a lot of making again of ClimateGate, as you remember. All the lies, the scandal, disturbing echoes, ClimateGate affair, which broke shortly before the UN Climate Summit in 2009. When it leaked thousands of emails between climate scientists suggesting they had manipulated hidden data. Some are British experts at the influential climatic research unit at the university in Anglia? I guess I don't know how you say that. NOAA's 2015 Pause Buster paper was based on two new temperature sets of data, one containing a measurement of temperature at the planet's surface on land, the other surface on the seas. Both data sets were flawed. This has been a ripoff. This has been stupidity. And, of course, Obama shoved this down our throat, like he always does. Data published by NOAA, the world's top climate data agency, claimed global warming was worse than previously thought of. So, $100 billion for giving every year an extra climate-related aid to developing worlds by rich nations. This was nothing more than to share the wealth. They use phony data. I got an article, 1,000 scientists challenge the global warming report now. More than 1,000 from around the globe have now challenged man-made global warming claims made by the United Nations. Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and former President, the Standing Tree Al Gore. Folks, it's there for us. Trump needs to drain this swamp. It's a hoax. He said it. He needs to stick with it. ClimateGate, it's science fraud, pure and simple. And it's all out there, folks. I'm not going to, by the way, I'm not going to bore you and read all this. It's there. I printed it. I'm saving it. I'm reading it. I'm looking at it. I'm right. Limbaugh, he's been out before anybody. He's right. It's a sham. This whole thing is a sham. It's a whole thing from Al Gore to Barack Obama. Sham. And the people in the United States of America need to realize this. I mean, they just make it up as they go. They put it out there because you got ineptness in the press who believes in every liberal lunatic idea that's out there. And them tree huggers are lunatics. And people out there that don't know if this is true or not, watch what the left does. Watch them nutting up. Because that's what they do best. Nutting up. It's amazing to watch. But it's out there, folks. And by the way, we'll have it on Facebook as well, at Moon Griffon, where you can go read the stories for yourself. So we'll try to get that posted. And when you do, read for yourself. It's all there. So 844-766-6607. Paul in Lake Charles. How you doing, Paul?
Hey, Moon. This is one of the ways that the left has been able to funnel so much money and get as big as they are is this global warming crap.
There's no doubt. But they shove it down our throat. We're supposed to accept it. This is where they go. We believe in free speech and information. They've proven to be liars. Every time we get a little further up the list, it's another lie about this, another lie about it. You know how many I'd like to know how many billions of dollars in regulations that companies are, and car dealerships, car manufacturing, and all these manufacturers, I bet it's hundreds of billions of dollars a year that's going to government when it doesn't have to go to government. They're doing things they're forced to be done through a lie, a total lie, and me and you are paying for it when we go buy a vehicle or anything else we buy, gas, clothes, whatever. This is a lie. It's a man-made lie is what this is.
In 1988, I used to sell auto parts. When I first got out of high school, the first couple of years, I used to sell auto parts. And in 88, I remember, that's when the Chinese, Donald Trump's right when he says these Chinese were some of the ones that started this crap. The Chinese started buying up as much of the R12 Freon as they could get their hands on because of this. The R12 Freon was supposedly causing you remember the big hole in the ozone?
Yeah, oh, man, the hole, that was going to wipe us up. Nobody even talks about that anymore.
Exactly.
They don't even mention that anymore about the hole in the ozone layer.
The air conditioner in your car, a lot of people don't realize it because they weren't around, they don't cool as good as the R12 did. And
it's more expensive.
Exactly. But back then, Freon was 88 cents a can. If you get your hands on R12 now, it's like gold.
Yeah. And you know what? All these third world countries had to get rid of it. It was a cheap way of, it helped poor people have, their bills were cheaper. The whole thing is a joke, and it's been a joke. But how much money have we spent?
You go back and you look at what Al Gore was worth when he and Clinton got out of the White House, okay? And look what he's worth now.
No doubt. No doubt. Big Al, the tree hugger himself, it's no doubt about that. But these people, it's just been a fake. And look, you ought to see my email sometime and my Facebook from the ignorance that comes from people that claim they know everything. One guy went back and forth, you don't know it, you just talking, you just saying these things, and he's scientists, and we find them in lies left and right. Now you got the world going, hold up just a second, we've been manipulated, and they spent billions and billions of dollars on this stuff. It's probably trillions before it's over.
That's what that delete button's for.
I know, but the problem is they've caused a lot. I'd like to know how many hundreds of billions of dollars that you and me are paying out of our pockets for man-made global warming bull through your vehicles that you buy. Almost everything you buy that uses all products. They have just ripped. And this thing is a hoax. Trump needs to drain this immediately. We don't need another penny going to this craziness.
Can you imagine how bad it would have been had Hillary Clinton won?
I imagine in the Super Bowl last night what was going to happen. I don't want to imagine that. That's almost depressing. So I don't imagine a Hillary Clinton presidency at all ever in my life, thank God. But I got to go. Appreciate the call. Don't think it'd be any worse than Barack Obama, who told us climate change. Of course, Obamacare was going to be $2,500 less a year for people that were paying on their premiums. Mine's that much a month. I must have missed what he said, Brandon. I must have had my left ear to him when he said it would be $2,500 a year cheaper. Mine went up to $2,500 a month. Actually, what did I tell you? $2,654, $2,560, whatever it is. I don't even know. We just write the check and cry. Let's go to Jeff in Alexandria. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing fine, sir.
I got a comment about global warming. I don't know how good a memory you have. You're not quite as old as me, but back in the 70s.
I might be better looking, but let's don't get into that. I said might, by the way. Go ahead.
That's big might. In the 70s, I can specifically remember watching a film strip in high school science that there was a program that they were grinding up tires and spreading them on the North Pole with military aircraft because of global cooling.
Yep. Say they changed it. That's why they can't call it global warming anymore. They need to call it climate change because everything matters now. Everything can be blamed on the same thing. By the way, Jeff, I kind of remember that too because it was a global, they were talking about another ice age maybe because of all this man-made stuff.
That's correct. And they were taking C-130s and dropping ground-up tires on the poles to help retain heat. The black would retain sun heat and would warm up the poles.
Oh, my God. Hey, let me ask you a question. This is a common sense question, okay? So there's not going to be, I say it's common sense. It's really no right or wrong answer for you, but I'm just curious what you think. Do you really believe that what me and you and the rest of this people in the United States of America actually do can all of a sudden stop hurricanes out of the Atlantic from coming to the United States or anywhere and being stronger because of what we do here? Our actions will stop that stuff. Do you believe that? A reporter from CNN said that. Do you really believe you and me, what we do today, is going to affect hurricanes over in the Atlantic over by Africa? And if I want you to answer that because I really want to know what your answer is.
No, of course not.
Yeah. See, the common sense tells you no. The science tells you no. Everything tells you no, but the people that make money on this, they come up with some hockey stick to explain that yes, we could have stopped Hurricane Matthews. I mean, the CNN guys say this is the things they're working on that the President Obama's working on that will stop hurricanes like this. If you believe that, you've got to be pretty sick in the mind. You got to be toward the cuckoo.
Well, my whole point is anybody that has questions about global warming should go look at the Grand Canyon and who do we blame that on?
Yeah, all right, good point. I just laugh when I see this, and I cry too because how many hundreds of $1,000s comes out of our pockets every day for a lie? I mean, an outright lie. Let me take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. If you'd like to be part of the Moon Griffon Show, your opportunity to be a voice, according to Brandon. Brandon, I'm not predicting anything.
Good.
But I can speak out and say what I want to say. Whether it comes true or not, we'll see what happens. All right, we'll take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline, as you like to know, as we call it. The, Brandon, by the way, notorious potbelly pig named Piggy Smalls, captured by Joint Task Force in Oregon. No proof that Paiute the pig was up there.
I knew it.
I don't know if that pig is as famous as Pea-Pie the pig. Pea-Pie the pig in Balkanville, Louisiana, might be more notorious than Piggy Smalls. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, because, and by the way, it's amazing. All these stories, these potbelly pigs, that police got to get involved in. I just wonder about this stuff sometimes. Brandon didn't believe me when I told him that till you pulled up the story.
I had to look it up, man. That's crazy.
You pulled that story up. You were laughing so hard, and you thought Moon's trying to pull another slick one on me. And I saw you laughing, so I guess what? I knew you came across the story.
Oh, man.
What was the name of the pig again?
Peapod the pig.
Peapod the pig. All right, let's move on. Gail on the road. Gail, how you doing?
Just fine, darling. How are you?
Girl, I'm doing good. Good to hear from you.
Well, I tell you something. I've got my feelings hurt. You moved from Monroe down there to God's country and left us poor rednecks up here by ourselves.
Let me tell you something. I was in your country, part of the country, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, and I enjoyed every minute. I bet I saw, between fishing and ate out and went to church, I probably saw 125 people that I hadn't seen in a while.
I
tell you what, I had about as much fun as a person can have, seeing old friends and probably met some new ones too. So it was a blessing the whole weekend.
Oh, that's great.
I had a good time.
Listen, I want to tell you, they talked about this global warming and everything. I used to complain to this friend of mine. I said, darn, it's raining and this and that and other I want to do. She said, listen, you have no control over this. It's God. He knows when you need something and when you don't need something. So I'm sitting here thinking, I said, all these people are thinking everything. They have no control over anything.
None
whatsoever. And I said, somebody might think, oh, here she is preaching. But, I mean, it's the God's truth.
Let me tell you something. I want you to think about what you just said, Gail. CNN reporting when Hurricane Matthew came through. Brandon, when did they hit the East Coast? Somewhere on the East Coast? I think so. You see, this is the things that President Obama and everybody's talking about, that we could stop hurricanes like this. And they're just stunned that you and me, by the way we live and act, is going to control a hurricane coming out the Atlantic closer to Africa. And it's our fault because, you've really, in the billions of dollars and trillions of dollars probably has been spent on this around the world. It's probably in the trillions for people to buy into this, and smart people. But political people buy into it because they want to hurt the United States of America. Is where that comes. But you're right about that. When somebody brings this up, it's silly. Well, I'm going to get some hate emails again from ignorant people. You just don't buy. And by the way, all these subjects are Democrat Party strongholds. Killing babies is a stronghold. Changing the definition of marriage is a stronghold. I just sit here and shake my head. But the global warming stuff is
Al Gore. Yeah, it's like Al Gore. He got his college degree paid for with his daddy raising tobacco. They've got a mine somewhere there in Tennessee. I'm old. I can't remember all the places like that. They never went in and redid all, what they're supposed to for the ecology and all this, that, and other. And I'm thinking, here he is leading the bandwagon, all that stuff and everything. And I said, things like that should be cut out. We would have more money to spend where we need it than just stuff. I don't know, I almost said what I thought about. Stuff like this, that is meaningless, that we have no control over whatsoever. You can't, like you said about the hurricanes and stuff like that, all we can do is, clean up and do afterwards, but we have no control over that. It's like a tornado, hit one place and then jump around and hit another place. I guess global warming, caused that because this one place, was ecology.
You remember the Wizard of Oz? And that was in Kansas, right? Okay, and Brandon said yes, so I'm gonna take his word for it. Okay. Yep. That whole area through there, from Kansas to Oklahoma and all that, they made a movie about what's been happening there since we've been here. That place has always had tornadoes and stuff to come through. They don't have hurricanes, of course, but tornadoes and bad wind and all that stuff since day one. But now all of a sudden that's man-made global warming. Number two, if you go back 100 years, a lot of these places that were built up didn't have houses, didn't have homes, go back 100 years. You remember the Great Flood of 2016 for our state in the Baton Rouge, South area, Lafayette, our friends in Monroe, I don't know if Shreveport, all this record flooding we have. And the reason it's record flooding is because we have homes built in places they were never built before. There weren't enough people here 100, 120 years ago to build anything. things were going on like that too. The exact same thing that's going on. The difference is, as the good Lord's blessed our country and we've multiplied and we put a lot of concrete, we diverted the Mississippi River, we come up with plans on flooding that backfired. We don't know if they're going to work. We think they're going to work. And then like Bananas Foster. You know, I don't like to bring bananas up except on Monday through Friday. It's man-made global warming. We got it. Oh, we did? When did we get it? And he got, floods. That ain't happened over there. And over 300 or 400 years since that's happened. Oh, really? Who was here? Who documented that? That's crazy stuff. We build on the coast now. So if a hurricane comes in, it's going to be devastating. You're going to have devastation. People's lives are going to be moved around. There's no doubt about it. But it's nothing to do with man-made global warming. It's just man is built in places that if you want to sit there and you can buy insurance and you can afford it, there's nothing wrong with it. We all like to go to the beach in Florida, and the coast of Louisiana is awesome for fishing and things of that nature. But those disasters are never going to be man-created, man-made. And anybody that buys into that, I'm telling you, you need to walk away and pray for them. They have no clue. And now we've proven it. The lies about man-made global warming are out there for everybody to read and see. And I think people with common sense ought to say, you know, we need to pull out of some of this stuff or all this stuff. That don't mean we don't want clean air, clean water. We shouldn't pick up after ourselves. We don't want plants polluting our water. They just take a movement and they go too far. Okay? They just go too far.
And OSHA, I mean, you better be, you know, they have got the power now with the industries and everything like that. You got to have this for that. You got to do this for that. And, you know, I mean, I know that is a process, but what gets me so aggravated is that these people that are doing all this protesting about stuff that, you know, I wanted to say this. I was going to try to call you Saturday when I heard you.
Look, I got to run, Gail.
Get a hold of you.
Okay, we'll do it again. Thank you, darling. We got to go. God bless. All right, quick break. More of the Moon Griffon Show right after that. Don't go nowhere, folks. A lot more coming. Donald Trump when we get back. I believe his name is President Trump. We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, it's your opportunity to be a voice on the Moon Griffon Show. All right, President Trump. I don't understand this. President Obama could, and yeah, he had a few executive orders that the courts turned back. But what they didn't do, when they said they turned them back, especially with illegal immigration, illegals, Obama kept doing them, and nobody said anything about it. Yes, the other day, the Justice Department demolished a case. U.S. District Judge, Washington State, ordered little explanation for the decision to stop Trump. Executive order temporarily suspending non-Americans' entry from 7 terror-plagued countries. Okay, and I'm trying to understand something here. So we got a president who says he wants to protect us. He finds 7 countries that support terrorism. Okay? We've had people here commit terrorism acts from those countries. So he decides to do a temporary ban, and now we got the courts against Trump. You know, a George Bush appointee. And I'm trying to think, folks, what do y'all want? Do we want a president who wants to protect the country? Do we want a president like we had who says, come on in? You know, just come on in your house. And so I got to thinking about this, that we really have gone so far down the road against America that we think it's normal. And people are cheering it out. They're trying to rush in from those countries. And I'm trying to figure out who's got our back. The courts? The courts don't act like they got our back. These judges don't act like they got our back. Donald Trump's the new president. He's trying to actually do something about this. And the courts are saying, no, we got to keep bringing illegals from countries that hate us. You know, once again, this is as bad as man-made global warming. I mean, to me, it's a hoax. And we're fighting against our own people that don't want to protect our country. And that's Donald Trump saying, what? These 7 countries on a temporary ban, I think it was 90 to 120 days. What is wrong with that? And, of course, Brandon, meant to tell you that you mentioned about one of the commercials. They did that on one of the news agencies. It was on TV, and I watched them. Guess what they were showing on TV when the court order to go against Trump's ban, they showed a woman and a little girl and how happy they were to be back in the United States of America. Once again, the ban was not to hurt us in the United States of America. The ban was not to hurt anybody that belongs here. The ban is so we can check out who's coming over here, have a process. We don't have that process right now. You know, we got border agents excited that Donald Trump's in here trying to do something. They feel like they're going to have money and resources to stop what went on over the last 8 years, and really probably the last 20, but really bad the last 8 years. And they're excited about it. I look at the Border Patrol people, and I'm going, see, these people know they're there every day. They know. Yet they're excited about getting some help, and here comes the courts to say, oh, no, we're not going to do that. And, of course, what does the news do? They show women and their little children coming across, and they might have never made it back, and they're crying, and they're so happy to be here, but they're here legally. And that's what nobody's asking. So here's another story that I read that I thought was pretty interesting. The Obama appointed Inspector General, who looked the other way when his boss enacted illegal amnesty programs and ignored federal court injunctions blocking them, has launched an investigation into Donald Trump's executive order temporarily banning travel from 7 Muslim-majority countries. The political grandstanding is behavior unbecoming of a federal agent watchdog, which is charged with independently investigating wrongdoing and rooting out fraud, waste, and abuse. In the case of the Department of Homeland Security Inspector General, appears to be selectively investigating based on his ideology and perhaps loyalty to the former commander-in-chief. That would be one Barack Hussein Obama. So they never investigated nothing Obama did. But Trump issues an executive order on January 27th for 90 days. Iraq, Iran, Syria, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen, notorious terrorist nations. And we got a judge that says, nope. Obama lets anybody come in and be like, open up your house, somebody knocks on your door, and you got 3 people. Oh, come on in. Don't know them. Don't vet them. That's what Obama did. They never did anything to him. That's what I mean. We're so far down the road of not doing what's right anymore. We think it's normal. We think it's normal. Federal Appeals Court on Sunday denied the Justice Department request for immediate reinstatement of President Trump's ban on accepting certain travelers and all refugees. Trump administration had appealed temporary order restraining the ban nationwide, saying the federal judge in Seattle overreached by second-guessing the president on this matter of national security. Folks, either the president, we got to let the president take care of national security and do what he thinks best, or we don't. Acting Solicitor General Noel Francisco, representing the administration, told the appeals court that the president alone has the power to decide who can enter or stay in the United States, an assertion that approved to invoke the water battle to come over illegal immigration. President Obama did it. The power to expel or exclude aliens and its fundamental sovereign attributed delegate by Congress to the executive branch of the government, largely immune from judicial control. Of course, Trump goes on Twitter and lets them have it. And I don't blame him because his people are going to follow that. But so we're going to let a judge who didn't do anything against Obama's unconstitutional acts of allowing people to come in here, sending refugees in here. And by the way, that reminds me, you got all these refugees. Why can't they go in one of these nice Muslim-loving countries and maybe we can help us get them established there? Why do you bring them here? Well, ask Obama. Because his people don't have a clue about it and don't want to have a clue about it. Hey, he's first black president. Hey, that's all we need to know. Don't matter what he stands for. I think of worthless. That's what I think of. Somebody that doesn't love this country. That's what I think of. I always think of Obama. And yet there's people that vote for him. And you're just trying to figure out why. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll start off with Paul in Natchitoches. What's going on, Paul? Paul, are you with me? I don't hear anything. He sounds... Paul, are you with me? We'll tell you, we'll put him on hold, go to the next one, and then we'll see if it's the phone problem. Terry in Shreveport. How you doing, Terry?
I'm doing great, Boone. How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good, brother. I guess Paul will have to call back. Go ahead.
Appreciate your show. A couple of comments. One, the judge that started this all was a district judge. My understanding, and I could be wrong, but my understanding is, as a rule, district judges have nothing to do with immigration or things like that, which is what he got involved in. So that's the number one thing. He needs to stay in what he's supposed to instead of what he got into.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is, if Mr. Trump would turn around, there is a bill before the House has already passed it. They passed it last year. They didn't go through the Senate because Obama said he'd veto it. But it's the initials on it are SOPRA, S-O-P-R-A. And it has to do, part of what it has to do is reworking the federal agencies on the civil service part.
Okay.
So that you can turn around and get that, when you need to get people out or appointees in that were put in by other people that have political agendas, you can get them out there. And I think Mr. Trump has talked to the gentleman that sent this through Congress and said he wants to do something, so I hope he does.
Okay, you still with me, Terry?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, maybe he will. We just got to just keep an eye on him. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll get to see that happen.
Well, they need to, because there's too many people out there that just have political agendas rather than doing what they're supposed to do.
And I think in Trump's case so far, he's proven he wants to do what he said he was going to do. And
yes, sir.
But we got I want the borders protected. I think they should be protected. I think anybody with any sense wants them protected. And the thing about it is, what he's trying to do is a good thing. Yet you got a judge ruling against him. And they just never ruled against Obama. The inspector general, who could have went after Obama for all his illegality on this stuff, never went after him. So anyway, we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's kind of crazy. I just hope the American people will stay engaged. I think it's very important. All right, thanks for the call. Brandon, I sent you something. See if you got the attachment that went with it. If you do, let me know. All right, let's go to Don on the road. Don, thanks for holding. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Moon, I'm all right. Look, I just got a couple of comments. I was thinking about what you was talking about, these, and I was just thinking, ISIS, this ISIS bunch is probably laughing their head off. They probably saying, well, the United States has got a president now that's trying to keep us out, but the crazy people want us in.
Yeah. Oh, no, they love it. They love it.
Yeah. And then on that global warming, back in the Old Testament when Nimrod was building that Tower of Babel, and he was going to reach to heaven and be over God, sort of what Obama's doing with this global warming. Well, that's all it is, Moon. It's just a Tower of Babel.
Oh, no, it is, but it's a lot of confusion to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's right. But I just thought about that, and I just wanted to holler at you.
I appreciate it, man. I don't disagree with you. Let me take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. We talked about a lot of stuff from Super Bowl to climate hole, ozone hole, just about everything. By the way, Brand, here's one for you. Saturday Night Live, Baldwin and constantly bashing Trump, showing him no respect. It's not going to change. They first of all, they have fun with everybody but Obama, and they even had a little bit of fun with him. Mm-hmm. I don't watch that stuff. I know that's more of a young person's deal. Older people probably still watch it. I couldn't. When I watched Saturday Night Live, it was. I'll tell you, the last time I watched it was when Bush beat Gore. But remember we had 59 days of not knowing, mm-hmm. and they started this odd couple presidency. Well, both of them were the president, and then Gore was like Felix. Mm-hmm. He was a neat freak, and they made Bush like Oscar, who threw cigars everywhere, didn't care, but they did both of them. They had fun with both of them.
Yeah. Well,
and I hadn't watched that since. Really, I haven't.
Well, some of my favorite humor is when people will imitate political figures and stuff. But the way that it's happening now is so much more agenda driven because they disagree with what Trump wants to do with this country. You could tell when they're doing it that that's what it's about. It's not so much in fun as it is taking shots.
Oh, no. Some of it is head up politics.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's probably not funny. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can be funny about it. I like a little humor. I don't want to get humor out, but you got to be able to laugh at Obama too, and that's what they'd get mad at. Let's go to Paul and Natchitoches. Got him back. Paul, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, sorry about that. Appreciate it. There's a great article on Conservative Review that goes right down the line. This Judge Robarts, by the way, and this is the question I always have for the Republican Party. How does Bush nominate this guy for the federal branch? That's the question I'm asking. How does this guy get vetted and get on the bench with these? He was pro-Black Lives Matter. He's pro-immigrant. I mean, this guy is pro-refugee. I mean, he's got statements out there that go against anything that any conservative on the planet would ever even dream of believing. So how does he get on the bench, man?
Well, that's what I always say about all the presidents, though. You don't know on the Republican side. On the Democrat side, you know good and well it's going to be leftists at best. Right. But on the Republican side, when we let one slip through like this, it hurts us. And then, and let me tell you what they do, though. They take it in a court, and I know this is going on. You know how John McCain's going to become popular again if he goes against Trump? Yep. They do the same thing with these courts. Well, this was a Bush appointee. Well, George Bush was never a conservative. He was a Republican, but he was never a conservative. And I don't think he was as bad as they said, but he wasn't real good either. And so they say, well, he's a Bush Republican. That means nothing to me. John Hilario's a Republican. I mean, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff is thrown out the window as I'm concerned.
Well, this thing that he ruled, when you go to that article, and I highly recommend everybody go read it, if you want to understand how insane this ruling is and how it just overturns all reason and logic. And when you read the judge's ruling, it's the most bizarre ruling. And the idea that one judge in one jurisdiction in Washington State, and that's the Ninth Circuit. That's the same one that it would go to that California Ninth Circuit next under appeal. Well, that's the most loony court in the of that part of the region. So I mean, this thing could go all the way back to Congress. But if Congress had any guts, they could reel this guy in. He ought to be arrested for treason. First of all, this is almost analogous to German refugees during World War II. Did you know that only less than 15, or right around between 10 and 15% of all Germans, only that number were considered, they called themselves Nazis? 85% of the Germans weren't Nazis.
Yeah, but
the equivalent to allowing Germans to immigrate here during World War II.
But once again, Paul, and you make a great point, once again, the press, the propagandists that they are, they make it sound like all these people believe this way. What do you think about the man-made global warming? Absolutely lie hoax. We'll be spending hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars on a lie, and they telling us this is true over and over again.
Was it East Anglia University, the professor over there, the climate scientist? He wrote a bunch of articles. He lied. He covered it up in his emails. They got a hold of his emails, got leaked. And you can see where he manipulated the data. He's suing the people that exposed him in court. I mean, that's how insane this is. So, I mean, you're right. I mean, but this judge here is out of control, and there's a bunch of these Bush appointees that have made several rulings here lately that would make a liberal blush. I mean, they're so far out there. I'm beginning to wonder now just what Bush really was. I'm not even sure that's how bad this is. So,
yeah, it's amazing to watch, man. If you watch this stuff at all, and you want to know where's the common sense, where's the honesty, where's the morality in what we're doing, how does the Constitution figure in it? And what these people are doing in this country, even Republicans think we're headed in the right direction, and we're not. Here comes Donald Trump, who looks like he's trying to do the right thing on a lot of deals, and all of a sudden we got Bush-appointed judges out there going against him. And I'll say it again, they look for those type people, so when they stop, and if it had been an Obama one, what people would go, well, it's Obama. You see what I'm saying?
Well, the leftists are always, I mean, you saw it all weekend on TV. First thing out of their mouth, well, this is a Bush appointee, and therefore, by proxy, this is a reasonable assumption that this judge is fairly conservative and all that, which is, like you say, Bush appointee, not true.
Yep, you got it, brother. All right, got to take a break. Good talking to you. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. It's your opportunity to be a voice. We've covered a lot of stuff, but your calls are welcome. We'll be right back.